Hey there, and welcome to the 15th edition of What's in the Press, brought to you by the Comic Doctor in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada, for the week of April the 8th, 2020. It has been a crazy few weeks, friends, as I'm sure you all know. We're all hunkered down, quarantining, trying to avoid that COVID-19. In that time, the presses are still going, and I am trying to get through as many books as possible. So let's get started right away. Here we have an order that came in some time ago from Ivan out of the Durham region, not too far away from the Comic Doctor's office, and we started with some modern books. And these modern books include, of course, a book we see quite often here at the shop, the Ultimate Fallout number 4, featuring the first appearance of Miles Morales, and it's Saga number 1. Saga number 1 is one of those speculation books. There's been a lot of talk of some kind of television show or film that would be based on Saga. Nothing has come to fruition as of yet, but there is still lots of talks, and so it is still a book that I see here quite frequently. Now this book also, guys, I'm telling you, some books just tend to press out better than others. For a modern book, the Sagas, they press out really, really, really nice. So if you have a copy that has some dents or dings and you want to have them cleaned up, by all means, give me a holler. Anyways, those are the first two books. Moving right along, we have a Captain Marvel number 14 and a New Agents of Atlas number 1. Then we have a variant, I don't know if it's variant or not, but actually, here we go. It's Adam, Legend of the Blue Marvel. A couple copies of that. And this one had some serious dinging going on in the bottom left corner. I did my best to smooth it out, but the dings were quite severe. There is some remnants of it still, but overall, much improved from what it once was. These two here are the variant copies. I'm not sure what these actually are. If you're a modern comic book collector, I'm sure you recognize them. I am not. So those are quite nice comics as well. These I often see here, obviously. Edge of the Spider-Verse number 2, featuring the first appearance of Gwen Stacy, Spider-Woman. Again, a very common book here at the office, as well as Nyx 3. And pretty much, probably on every episode of What's in the Press, we've seen ASM 300. They still keep coming in. Now, although the Marvel Universe has been halted due to the current situation, comic collectors are still trying to find copies of Masters of Kung Fu, and here we have 4 copies in anticipation for the Marvel release, which is coming, I guess, pretty soon once this whole COVID-19 problem hopefully subsides. Moving right along, we have a nice She-Hulk number 1 and a Swamp Thing 37. And we finish off, actually no, we don't finish off, we also add a couple of issues of Strange Tales 169 featuring Brother Voodoo. Again, I've mentioned this before, another hot book. There is talk of this character appearing in the new Doctor Strange film, the Multiverse of Madness, which I am very excited for. So we'll keep our eye out for Brother Voodoo. And then this order finishes off again with a book we do see quite often here at the Comic Doctor's office, a nice copy of Giant Size X-Men number 1. And yes, he didn't pay $90. I do try to recycle. When books are going off the CGC and I have good quality bags and boards, I try to recycle them as much as possible. I only assume that once they get to CGC, they are likely tossed. So try to help avoid filling up our landfills. I try to recycle good quality bags and boards whenever possible. Anyhow, thanks Ivan for the submission. Moving right along. So here we have some books from Paolo, and Paolo comes to us from the GTA. So we start off with 2 copies of Amazing Spider-Man 529, featuring the first appearance of the Iron Spider. It's a pretty cool looking cover. Quite a popular book as well too, and I do see this one here at the office on a semi-regular basis. And Paolo likes to give me books in pairs, it seems, because he also submitted 2 copies of New Mutants 98, featuring the first appearance, of course, of Deadpool. Paolo also submits a great copy of New Mutants 87, featuring the first appearance of Cable. Now this particular book had a subscription crease or some kind of a bend right down the middle. It's kind of hard to see as I removed most of it, But I'm going to tell you, if you have subscription creases or any kind of crease for that matter on your comic book, and the fibers of the paper are pinched, there's always going to be some remnant, especially in the modern books. You're always going to be some remnant of that defect. Yes, pressing will minimize it and it will smooth it out somewhat, but if you look very carefully, you will likely see the pinched fiber still there to some extent. To be honest, with older books like Golden Age books, sometimes these types of creases can be almost removed completely. Magically, they could disappear. But again, it's a different type of paper that we're dealing with these, and of course, then moving on to these next books, like this one especially, Mad Love, Batman Mad Love. Again, the paper is a more modern stock, and damage on this paper is less forgiving than, say, a book from the Golden Age era. So anyhow, here we have a Batman number, well, I don't think it has a number on it, it's actually just Batman Mad Love, another popular, I believe it's the origin story of Harley Quinn, and here's her first appearance in Batman Adventures number 12. Again, a book that I see very, very free. You know, they say it's a low print run, but I see these books all the time here at the Comic Doctor's office. Anyhow, guys, that'll bring this episode to an end. I hope you enjoyed the selection of comics that were sent in this week. If you like what I'm doing here, if you like the channel and you like the books that I'm going through, please do subscribe. It lets me know that you want me to continue making these videos, and I will if people want them. And by all means, hit the subscribe, hit the like button, and please comment below. Let me know what comics you saw here today that you'd like to have for your own collection, perhaps, or maybe put a word out to people that are other viewers that you are looking for one of these books. You never know, you could actually make a deal with one of my subscribers just by reading the information below. Guys, thank you so much. It is Easter weekend. I do wish you and your family a very happy weekend. Please be safe. Continue to be safe as we fight this terrible, terrible virus. And hopefully we'll see you again next week for the 16th edition of What's in the Press.